Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Voice podcast. I'm Vernon R.E. Jones, managing broker, owner of Jones Homes, and for 30 years, we have serviced the 7-county Denver metro area. What is an appraisal gap on a home purchase? Well, an appraisal gap is the difference that occurs when a buyer's offer is higher than the actual appraised value of the property, which is usually the amount the bank will loan for the home, that they are contracting to purchase. It is an issue that is currently being experienced in the hot and highly competitive Colorado real estate market and most markets nationwide, and experienced by buyers where there are many more prospective purchasers than inventory that is available for sale, and where bidding wars and other aggressive purchase offer tactics are being used. An appraisal is based on recent comparable sales, or comps, short for comparables. But in the current housing market, these comps are not able to catch up with demand. What comparable homes were selling for 3 to 6 months before may not account for the increased buyer demand. Therefore, currently these bidding wars and appraisal gaps are now coming standard, with many offers to purchase a property. If a prospective buyer cannot come up with these additional funds to make up the difference, they are often closed out of competing for the property. In order to compete, many buyers will have to promise in their offer to purchase that they will cover part or all of the appraisal gap in cash, and usually before they even know how much that gap will be. I have heard of reported instances and have experienced them where homes have sold for as much as $100,000 over the asking price and appraisal, whereby the buyers were then obligated to come up with a significant appraisal gap in order to get the property. An appraisal gap can be a very complicated and expensive proposition. I always advise my clients, see what you realistically can pay over the list price. For example, I have somebody that's, let's say, looking for a $500,000 house. Very competitive sector, just FYI. But the property comes on the market and it's $500,000. So to get competitive, we probably bid maybe $530,000 or $540,000. In other words, $30,000 or $40,000 over the list price. But the seller only has the place priced at $500,000. We're assuming that the broker that they deal with has done a market evaluation, and of course I do a secondary one for my buyers, so we can see actually where the property would appraise. So the gap or appraisal gap monies we would use would be more reasonable, and thus the other broker would be reasonable in looking at offers that more likely are going to meet that criteria. But let's say listed at $500,000, we go up to $30,000, $40,000, so we're at $540,000. I will tell my clients, look, how much can you actually have over what you need for closing and down payment that you can add to the additional provisions that you would be willing to give the seller if the property only appraises for $500,000. So usually, let's say the buyer has, well, I'm bidding $530,000, $540,000, but I do have $10,000 extra to bid. In other words, so I go from $500,000 to $530,000, $540,000. It appraises at $500,000 anyway, but the seller still gets an additional $10,000 to cover the appraisal gap. I've seen appraisal gaps be $100,000, but I've seen them be largely, generally in that $5,000 to $20,000 range, even $30,000 range, in that $0 to $600,000 price point. I advise my clients, if you do not have the money to do the appraisal gap, you will likely be shut out. You must have a appraisal gap capital to make an opportunity happen for you in this current market. I will tell you this, nationwide, 82% of homes are selling at or higher than purchase price. Inventory remains historically low. But interest rates are too. Any questions, feel free to give me a call at 303-359-8218. This is Vernon Jones with the Real Estate Voice. And please, be safe, and thank you for listening.